Aloha and mahalo for joining me. I'm Janet and welcome to the Call to Create podcast. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And I think about you a lot because I feel like we women, we have to stick together. And if there's men out there listening, thank you. I appreciate it. But I wanted to talk about how at this time, right now it's November of 2021. And even if you're listening to this way later, years later, it's still relevant because we're always going to come to a November in whatever year it is towards the end of every year. But I feel like, and I feel this around the same time, probably every year for I don't know how long, but I feel the pressure of time. And that's what I want to talk about is this pressure of time, because right now it's towards the end of the year and I feel like, and see if you feel the same way too, but I feel like the pressure of time is one of those things that we feel, but you don't have any control over time. It's one of those things where we talk about time and we want more of it, but that feeling is still there, even though we don't have any control over it. And I find myself saying a lot that I want time to slow down, or I want time to just stop for a few hours. And I don't know if it's just the fact that I'm getting older, or it just feels like everything is speeding up. But I feel like there's so much pressure at this time of the year, and there are so many people, and really time management is pretty much what you can think about when we're talking about the pressure of time. But I wanted to talk about this because way back when there were two wonderful people who actually started talking about time management. They started talking about time and all of that. And it was Hyrum Smith and Stephen Covey of Franklin Covey. Now, Hyrum Smith actually started Franklin Quest. He named it back in the 80s, in the 1980s. But I heard of them in the 90s. I heard of Hyrum Smith and his company, Franklin Quest. And then later on, he joined forces with Stephen Covey, and then they changed the business name to Franklin Covey. But these two wonderful men, unfortunately, have passed on. They're no longer here. But what they taught was so good. They were some of the pioneers, the first two pioneers. There were, I think, a couple before them. But, they really made their company grow talking about time management. And so this pressure of time also has to deal with time management. And really, if you think about it, if you didn't realize it by now, that time management is all about really managing yourself in the amount of time that you have, like when you're doing something or when you're trying to manage yourself within each 24 hours in a day, that we all have 24 hours, even though sometimes it doesn't feel like it. I feel like time goes by so fast, it's less than 24 hours. And then next thing you know, it's the next day. But now that the holidays are upon us, there are only 24 hours in a day, by the way. Many people have already started the shopping and the decorating and all the things that go along with the holidays, which adds more pressure. So why do we do that to ourselves? Why do we add more than we already have? That's a really good question. And that's probably a good topic for like another podcast episode, is why do we do that to ourselves? Because everybody has their own reason why they do that to themselves, why they add more and more and more on. But it's interesting because I feel like the more I try to not think about time and not think about how fast time is going, the more that's all I can think about is how fast time is going. So it's one of those things where you have to be careful what you really think about. because when you think about something more and more, you just get fixated on that that subject or topic. So be careful what you think about. But I want to get back to talking about this pressure of time. It's funny like how when I'm doing something, when I'm here in my office and I'm working on something, next thing you know, I look up, it's like 1 or 2 hours later, and I'm thinking, oh wow, how did it get to be 1 or 2 hours later? It seems like I only started 5 minutes ago. Like when I'm creating these podcast episodes, it takes a long time because I have a process and there's things I do, and I have to really think about what I want to share and how it'll benefit you. And it's amazing how time is just flying. And I feel the pressure of having to get it done within a certain amount of time because like I mentioned on my other episodes, I just don't only do this business. I help my husband with his business, and then I have my own things I have to take care of, and the house and cooking and food and shopping and banking, and you name it, it can just add the pressure, right? Like I think I just do it to myself too. But then now with the holidays, I haven't even started to think about the shopping or decorating or anything like that. And I feel like there's this sense of pressure, and it's self-imposed. I put the pressure on myself thinking, oh no, okay, it's already the end of November and I have to do all these things, and then I got to think about the holidays and Christmas, and are we gonna buy a real tree this year again? Are we gonna buy a real tree again this year? What kind of gifts are we gonna get for our children and grandchildren and all that kind of stuff? I'm talking we, me, and my husband. But is there a way where the holidays can be a glorious time to think about what the holidays really are? Thanksgiving is about celebrating and being grateful and being thankful for all that you have. And then the holidays, everyone celebrates the holidays different. And like, I'm a Christian, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus Christ, so I celebrate the birth of Christ. And not everyone is like that, but they still have their own holiday celebration. So it's interesting how you get into this rhythm every November or every December where, okay, after Thanksgiving you got to do this. Some people go Black Friday shopping at the stores and deal with all that craziness. Now I personally, I don't do that because I don't feel like anything I need to buy is worth fighting crowds and standing in the line at 5 o'clock in the morning to get into the store and things like that. But it's okay if everyone's view is different. I'm just sharing my view on, what I do and what I don't do. But then I feel like because I don't do some of these things, that's one less pressure that I put on myself. So think about it. Are there things in your life that you put more pressure on yourself, thinking, okay, I need to do this and I need to do that? Do you do that? Do you say, okay, well, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to plan this party, I have to buy this gift for such and such person? Think about all the pressures that you're putting on yourself and really take a good look at it and see if it's worth it. A lot of times we put this pressure on ourselves, especially going shopping and buying gifts for people because we feel like they're going to get upset if we don't get a gift, or we bought a gift for them last year, so we have to buy them a gift again this year. So what are you doing to put that pressure on yourself? Because, time is what it is. We only have 24 hours in a day. So is it worth your sanity? Is it worth being all stressed out? Is it worth feeling that pressure? That pressure like that you feel, for example, when I feel like this tightness in my chest. I feel like, maybe somebody's pushing on it. And it's just that that really tight, stressful feeling. And, pressure can be really unhealthy if you're not careful. So that's what I also want to bring up is that be really, really careful because you don't want to put so much stress on yourself. You don't want to put so much pressure on yourself that it causes you overwhelm and stress and, all of these symptoms that could happen or all of these effects that could happen because of the pressure. So just be careful and take a really good look at all the things that you are putting yourself through and look at all the things that you're thinking about and think about all the things that you feel you have to do because in reality you really don't have to do a lot of things. We're just worried about if somebody's going to be mad at us or they're not going to be our friend, or if a family member, you're going to worry if they say something to you or they'll be angry at you. But in the end, you are the one that has to live with yourself. You have to put your head down in your pillow every night. And the more pressure you have, and the more pressure that you put on yourself, the harder it is to go to sleep at night. And the more and more your thoughts keeps looping and looping, and you feel it. And, sometimes you can wake up in the morning and then you feel that pressure all over again. It's just this one vicious cycle. So be careful what you do, what you think, what you say, and what you feel is really necessary this holiday season. And I think the older I get, the less and less I do because I don't like that pressure that I feel. I sure don't want to start having any anxiety or anything like that. And even if you love the holidays, try to see if you can actually have a holiday where you don't put pressure on yourself and you're not stressed out because there's only so much time that we have, and make the best of it. Make your holidays special where there's not all of that going on. Too many times we worry about what everybody else is going to think about us. And if you really think about it, most people aren't paying attention to us. More and more people are so busy with their own lives and they're only worried about their lives. They're not really paying attention to what we do or what we don't do. So remember that every time you have this thought about doing more and more and more, especially during the holidays, think about that. Just remember what I said. Nobody is really going to care about what you do or you don't do as much as you think they are, because everybody's stressed. They're in their own holiday pressure and everybody's doing their own thing. And everybody's trying to finish all their goals too, not to mention that, before the end of the year. And just remember the reason why we have the holidays. It's to celebrate our families and our loved ones and to be thankful for all that we have. I know I just mentioned that, but sometimes it's really easy to just forget all of that stuff, what to be grateful for and what the holidays are all about. So however you celebrate the holidays and what it means for you, just remember that at the end of the day, you're going to put your head down on your pillow and you're going to only care about what matters most to you. So let go of the pressure and let go of all the things that you feel you have to do. And if you do need help because there are things that you have to do and you have no choice, make sure you get some help. Ask people to help you. Ask a family member, ask a friend, ask a neighbor. And we all need to help each other. So think about all of these things because we don't want pressure to take away our joy and happiness during the holidays. I want you to enjoy your holidays and be grateful for all that you have. And I hope you end this year with happiness and joy and feeling fulfilled. And thank you so much for being here. And please share this podcast with anyone who you know would get great value out of listening to it, especially if you know that they're thinking about starting their own business. Or even if they're not, there's still great value that I share in each episode that can bring value to women, even if they aren't interested in starting their own business. And please rate and review this podcast. I would appreciate it. And thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Aloha.